Well, I really wanted to have the admissions team and the student financial services counseling team armed with a toolkit that allowed them to have better conversations with students, which would ultimately impact the yield that we're experiencing each year. With a shrinking demographic, there are new challenges in the higher ed market, and I was hoping that if we put a lot of resources into training our team, that we would be able to be, successful. Well, I will say that my expectations weren't very high. I was nervous and wanted to come in saying, at the very least, we'll have 2 days of team building. But actually, we were really thrilled immediately, and we sensed it as soon as you guys came on board. The whole team did. I was concerned that some of my more senior counselors would not be as open to these kinds of conversations, but in fact, they really were. We didn't feel after the first day like we had a group of salesmen in front of us telling us how to be sleazy salesmen, but instead we had professionals who are used to working in higher ed, and they really helped us kind of, again, frame our kinds of questions. They knew the types of issues that we were struggling with, and I think that was really nice. All of my team said that they found you and Rick to be very approachable, and that your style was really something that they felt like they could work with. The personalities of the two of you were so important, to be able to come in and keep their minds open and not feel like, this was going to be just another kind of group of people touting to us the way we should be asking questions. Instead, first of all, the interactiveness of it really made a difference. The fact that they felt like they were a part of it, they weren't being lectured to. It was really a great format. We had two different kinds of goals here. One, we wanted basic customer service training. I didn't want all the good work that our admission counseling team and the student financial services team had put in lost because somebody answering the telephone was, not what we would want. And so we were looking for an overall customer service training. And yet I didn't want it to just be customer and service. I wanted it to be higher ed, related to higher ed. And I really was hoping to get more than just how do you answer the phone with a smile on your face, and instead really kind of getting to how do you ask good questions? How do you make people feel served at the end of the conversation? And so we looked at some other companies, and I didn't get the feeling that it was going to cover everything. And we did the value proposition study with Longmire. And after that, I felt like, you at least were asking the right questions. The things I wanted answered were questions you were asking in the survey. And I thought, who better than to be able to connect, to kind of help the counselors connect the dots and make these kinds of conversations in an informed way. So it became a really easy sell for me, in terms of choosing Longmire. So I'm thrilled that we did. We, as you know, were very rushed because we wanted you to come here very quickly. We had a goal in mind in terms of when we wanted you on campus, and you guys were incredibly flexible. And we were able to really handpick what we wanted the 2 days to look like and what populations we wanted to have targeted. And I felt like it really worked very smoothly. And it was a very creative process and inclusive of everything I was interested in. We were able to take things off the table. I also am looking forward to now the next stage and the follow-up and having, digging a little bit deeper into more maybe of the Pride Guide, of our tour guide training or some of our call center staff. So it worked out beautifully. I think you have to do it. I mean, you can believe that as a leader, you've given everything you possibly can in terms of the resources and tools to help your staff, develop further. We share so much information, and in this day of data, we share reports and so many reports on a regular basis. And you would think that we're doing everything we need to be doing, and yet, a group comes in and asks questions, and you notice immediately that half of the room hasn't gotten the message that you've given them. So I think I always would say it's worth it. If you can make it work, you should, because it's certainly worth it. And it helps them feel like you're investing in them, which obviously will get them just more motivated, your team more motivated to invest in the product and in what you do. I think you can think you're doing all of this yourself, no matter what situation you're in. You believe you have somebody who's taking care of this part, somebody who's taking care of that part. To have a company come in and connect all the dots and have them really have these interactive experiences where they can see it maybe from a different perspective helps tremendously. And I don't think it's something you can do internally.